Welcome to the Line Life podcast. I'm Jeff Postlethwaite, Senior Editor of T&D World, and today we're bringing you more stories of the grit, courage, and inspirational teamwork that it takes to be a line worker.
Thank you for tuning in to the Line Life podcast. My name is Amy Fishbach, and I'm the field editor for T&D World magazine and the host of the Line Life podcast. Before we feature today's episode on LUMA Energy, I invite all of our Line Life podcast listeners to subscribe to our weekly podcast by going to linelife.podbean.com and clicking follow in the top right. You can also subscribe to the Line Life podcast on your favorite podcasting app to be part of our Line Life podcast community. Thank you so much for listening to the Line Life podcast, and we look forward to receiving your comments and suggestions for future guests at linelifepodcast@gmail.com. Or you can also email me at amyfishbach@gmail.com if you have a story that you'd love to share in T&D World magazine. Now let's move on to today's episode, which features LUMA Energy in Puerto Rico. We featured LUMA in past Line Life podcast episodes, including one in January 2025, which highlighted LUMA Energy's apprenticeship program. I also did a two-part interview series featuring Dr. Shay Bahamareed of LUMA Energy, and she talked about LUMA's grid modernization projects. You can listen to these episodes, including a few narrated articles about LUMA, in our In Case You Missed It series at linelife.podbean.com. Today we're talking about the aerial training underway at LUMA Energy in Puerto Rico. Our guest today is José Luis Campos Figueroa, Director of Operations Aviation for LUMA. He's talking to us today directly from the aviation hangar for LUMA. Jose, thank you so much for joining us today for the Line Life podcast.
Hello, Amy, and nice to having me here. Great to having me here at your podcast.
So, Jose, to begin, can you talk a little bit about your role with LUMA with the aviation department?
Yes, as a director here in LUMA, I am the one that manage and contribute to the to maintain the program running and making sure that all the equipment, our helicopters, ground equipment, inventory, it is in accordance with what we need to maintain this fleet operating in the daily basis, which is very important. Also planning for the future of new equipment and new prospect to come here to replace, in the future. So yeah, my position is to plan for the future of this department and to make that better and better.
And Jose, I can see some helicopters behind you. Can you talk about what LUMA has in terms of aerial equipment?
Yes, I will. And I would like to give you, before I go to that, a little history on the LUMA department, aviation, especially aviation. When they start in 1958, they brought the first helicopter into the island. Sarkovsky 58 helicopter, heavy lift. This initiative was led by the engineer Julio Oms, and they started to use the helicopter at that time in the construction of line. And especially this line was the first one, 37-300, was 115 kilowatts. Originating from the south of the island in Costa Sur to the town of Utuado, which is kind of center west of the island, providing that service. In continuing in the evolution of the aviation, in 1963-64, they brought and they purchased the authority of Power Electric at that time. They purchased the Healer helicopter to involve in more constructions on poles, in light poles, and to expedite more the construction of the grid. So that amazingly continue with that in 2014, this line 37-300 changed to transmission line 51-200. This line upgraded to a 230 backup line from, again, originating from south Costa Sur, and this they extended to the northern side of the island, Arecibo, Cambalache. Is very important for the grid, especially Maria. Maria was, I believe, was the first one that they found on the whole grid destroyed. They found this line that was easier to fix it and start building up electricity in the surrounding and premises of the island. So yes, so that's a little bit about us in aviation. From there on, the evolution in aviation is being continue operation with the different administrations, different pilot, different mechanics, a very high standard of experts in this work. So very proud to be there and be part of it. And yes, right now we have 4 aircraft. We have a 2 A-Star, which is the one that you see in the back. The mainly purpose we do with that one is constructions work, which construction work is everything that you have to do to fix a line or a pole by taking the lineman into the tower by the method of the heck, which is a human standard cargo, a very, very essential tool to transport personnel. And then also, in addition to that, to transport all the equipment that they need in order to operate in that tower, which is ladders, equipment, tools that they need to do the fix. In addition to that, we use those helicopters to install in the outside radar. That's to have a better view of what's going on with the grid and the tower and the line from pole to pole. We do the Corona and Thermo. Those are advanced equipment that we have, handheld camera that we have a operator. We have here assigned to us Samuel Rosado, which is an operator that have a lot of experience and know the grid by heart. And the Corona effect actually give us the damage, will allow us to identify the damage of that insulator. And the Thermo is the one that we identify hotspot that need attention, because in any moment, any time period, it's going to break loose and, interrupt the power in that one. So those are the things that we do in that here of most of our mission here.
Well, I'm sure they make your line crews a lot more efficient.
Yes.
And can you talk about why LUMA decided to introduce an advanced training program in aerial and ground operations?
Well, yes. When I start here, I says we have to maintain the high standard that the past administrations been letting us. So one of the things I continue is providing training, emphasizing the safety, which is the most important thing for us. So one of the things is we brought this company, Volo Mission, which is very recognized in the U.S. because he's standardizing all the utility companies around the world to include us in terms of being working around surrounding the aircraft. So yes, for us, that was very crucial to have those training in place here and to be able to respond to any emergency that arise here because of our unique geographical aspects of our Puerto Rico. The land here is very mountainously, so it's similar to a big jungle. So it's very hard to get into some places. So that will facilitate us to be able to react and provide services and be better and to maintain that grid in the island.
And how is this training helping your utility to respond to emergencies and protect critical infrastructure in high-risk situations?
Well, this will improve us by providing us confidence that will increase our situational awareness in making decisions in emergency situation, which is very important for that, I believe. We mitigate risk with training and practice, also reduce the hazard to some safety in this kind of training that we do and maintain.
And can you talk a little bit more about your collaboration with Volo Mission, which provides long line and aerial firefighting training?
Well, yes, our training with Bolo, since I came here in 2021 and I did not know anything about vertical long line use. So, yes, I've been in this career for 30 years. I come from the National Guard and I have a vast experience flying. I was an instructor pilot in helicopter and flew airplanes in the National Guard, plus also the external cargo, which is kind of similar to do vertical reference. But the only thing in vertical reference is that the pilot is the one that is moving the cargo, not in external cargo, which is the bucket man in the back directing you and address you to move the cargo. So he's the one that putting the cargo in the target that we want to. So Bolo has been very instrumental to us to give us the basics, to have the knowledge of what is lines, what different lines that we use in order to work in the different environment that we have here. This sometimes we have 50-foot line, 75, 100, 150. So it depends how deep is the area of the tower or place that we're going to be working. So yes, it's very instrumental. It's been very helpful for us to be working together along.
And this program includes 6 pilots and members of LUMA's aviation and operations teams. Can you discuss how you selected who would participate in the training?
Yes, when we comes to training, I sat down with my staff, which safety, maintenance, standardization, which is the training department, and myself, and we discuss who is allowed or who is able to start, because not everybody is able or could be, I would say, able to maintain or address someone that is need help. Not everybody react the same time. So what we do here, we have a background from the personnel. Most of the people that we put in this training was a lineman that they already have a training in HEC. So they have a human standard cargo, how to work on the rope, hanging under the belly of the aircraft. So those are one of the critical roles that we look for it. Also, pilots and mechanics, due to the fact that they already know how to operate around the aircraft and close to the aircraft. But we continue emphasizing the hazards that arise or are close with us, which is the tail rotors and main rotor. What places you need to avoid when you are working close by the aircraft, and what places you are able to get out, exit, or approach the aircraft. So yeah, this is very important. The good thing about that I have a very good different roles and backgrounds here in LUMA. I have personnel from PREPA. I have personnel from the police department, from the private sector, with a lot of experience that we share. And that's the goal, to maintain a good standard. Plus, also the aircraft mechanic, which I cannot say no more about the professionalism that I have here in maintaining those aircraft. So I've got a very good professional team that are putting in place and maintaining the operation here in aviation.
That's wonderful. And you have a total of 17 transmission field workers from across the island who receive certification to perform rescues in remote areas and learn how to use stretchers. Can you talk about the importance of knowing how to do these rescues and transport injured individuals to safe zones?
Well, the important to react is the unique geographical, terrain that we encounters here, and how can we get there. So yes, it's important that and be able to be transferred and help that emergency in those remote and hazardous areas that are here and you can get in the island. So yeah, it's a matter of continue working, continue talk. And again, I'm not replacing any professional medical, say, and just helping to get a person out for a remote area that cannot be attended by a medical professional in the area. So yes.
And now let's move on to aerial firefighting. Talk about how they learned how to operate the Bambi bucket system, which has 144-gallon capacity to extinguish fire near electrical infrastructure. How can they use this training to protect transmission towers and critical power lines?
Well, the Bambi bucket is a useful tool and very instrumental for us. The Bambi bucket, just to be more clear on that one, we use it for our protection, is to protect our grid and protect to our assets in LUMA. When I talk about that, is meaning the towers, and if I getting closer to the grid towers or to the wiring that can be affected in the interruption of the power. So yes, the Bambi bucket, it is for the use of LUMA Energy, even though we can help outside, but that have to be called by the government of Puerto Rico if they need it, because the first responder for any emergency or rainforest here in Puerto Rico would be the National Guard or any other entity that is allowed to or have the expertise to do that.
And then the third part of the training program focused on field operations and helicopter safety. Describe what they learned about long line operations, ground safety measures, and decision making and communication in high pressure environments. What are some strategies and techniques that you focused on?
Well, in this program, I emphasize precision, coordination, safety. Long line is something that, again, I'm working with live persons that are going to be hooked under a long line under the helicopter. So it's very important that when we train and how to inspect the lines, how often do you have to inspect the line to change it, and plus also the personal equipment that that lineman have for his work. So everything has to be maintained. We do, in conjunction with that, we do safety briefings We actually do training like hands-on, coordinating, depending on the mission that we're going to be doing or the work that we're going to be doing. If it's a specialized something, that we rehearse what we do, what we're going to be doing in that day.
And the program, which took place over 5 days, included real life scenario simulations. Discuss the importance of doing hands on training rather than just talking in the classroom.
Well, yes, part of the training was both combining the actual practice plus the classroom environment. Classroom environment will give you a very good idea and clear of what you're going to be expected, plus also give you the confidence of what you were going to be doing. The hands-on training you practice, because practice will give you to a perfection. Practice will increase the safety awareness to make a better decision for any emergency that can arise, because we are operating with a helicopter. So you don't know if that helicopter is going to fail on you in that mission. So all the procedures and emergency procedures that have to be combined on what they're going to be doing, pilots are going to be doing with the helicopter, or linemen are going to be doing in that case, those have to be rehearsed, those have to be practiced with hands-on. So everybody knows what they're going to be doing, so we don't have any surprises, and they can react in a safely manner and reduce the factor of any injuries.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. And describe how this training was even more realistic with the collaboration with the fire department and how the firefighters helped the field workforce to learn the skills of the training course.
Well, having the fire department is a very good contribution, because they are the expert in suppress any fire. So they are the one that have the knowledge. And it's been a great combination also to provide equipment, then to provide the expertise. And also the good thing about that is because I have the experience in the National Guard that I used to do firefighting stuff with the helicopters in National Guard. And that time, they're the one providing the water into the bucket by hose. Kind of difficult because you are under the helicopter while the helicopter is flying, hovering, and the downwash can affect a lot. So right now, in today's day, they have those collapsible swimming pool or portable collapsible water holes that they can get them full of water, and you are very easily to get your Bambi bucket there without any person under you. So it's very safe. In case that something happened in an emergency, you have plenty of time to react, because what they do is they connect all the hose to the fire truck in order to replace and maintain that collapsible water full in order to maximize the operations in the turnaround to extinguish that fire. So it's very essential, very helpful, a combination of two forces working for one goal.
And Jose, do you have any other comments for our Line Life podcast listeners about special ways to stay safe around helicopters or be efficient?
Well, yes, I do. Like I said, the last couple of weeks, I was able to participate in the simulation of a Hurricane Category 5 at our LEOC. It's a LUMA Emergency Operation Command. And I'm very proud to tell that the professionalism that we are getting into manage any emergency has been so instrumental for us. And also, we combine and invite some government agency into the simulation, and was very impressed of how we conducted and the professionalism that, again, LUMA Energy has here to get ready for the next season, which starts next June 1st.
Wonderful. And is there anything else that you'd like to talk about in terms of the aviation program, or anyone that you would like to have a shout out to on this podcast?
No, Amy, I don't have anything else to comment. Just telling you that very proud for this team. 17 professionals here in my team. So looking forward to continue working and be part of this LUMA.
Perfect. Well, thank you for taking out time to talk to us for the Line Life podcast. We hope the training program will help your field workforce and operations team to be able to respond swiftly and safely in the event of an emergency. Thanks for joining us, Jose.
Thank you, Amy.
This episode of the Line Life podcast was written, recorded, and edited by Amy Fishbach. It was produced by Jeff Postlewaite. That's me. To listen to past episodes, visit www.tdworld.com/podcasts or find us at Podbean. You could also drop us a voice memo or message at linelifepodcast@gmail.com with your comments on this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Please follow this show on Podbean or your favorite podcasting app to be updated when new episodes are released. Thank you for listening.